Welcome back to Ripe Avocados. Today we're gonna do the last Conjuring movie ever made.
Thank
Bar
God.
like they will never make another one. You heard it here first. No, that's all cap. They're definitely gonna make a bunch more, probably in 5 years or whatever. But this is the last version of the Warrens, probably that we're gonna get. So let's dive into it and talk about the Conjuring.
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours on a beautiful day.
The Conjuring Last Rites follows, of course, Ed and Lorraine Warren as per usual. Thank God this is the last film. I'm sure, like you said, they'll make spin offs, but not excited for those. But basically, this story follows the Smurl haunting in Pennsylvania, and this family is tormented by a demon living inside this mirror, and it's just beating the living shit out of them. Like, they try to throw it away, and one of the daughters starts throwing up blood everywhere. I'm assuming she was, because she's spitting out glass shards, and I don't know how she's still alive, but they definitely spruced that up for the movie.
Don't worry about that.
But Ed and Lorraine's daughter Judy is getting married to her boyfriend Tony. Ed and Lorraine are starting to wind down, look at retirement, probably get a beach home in Florida, living on the beach for the rest of their life. But instead, Judy starts getting visions and drags them into this Smurl haunting. And Ed and Lorraine are forced to face the demon that haunted them like 22 years ago inside that mirror when Judy was born. And they have to come together as a family to kill it.
Yep. Just copy and paste, the last 2 to 3 of these movies, and it's kind of the same thing. So let's do our scores as always. We're going to start with entertainment. I went 6.9 here.
I literally went 6.9 as well.
I went characters, I went 5.2.
Characters, I went 5.5.
Cinematography, I went 6.7.
I went 6.5 on cinematography.
There we go. And then writing, I went 6.1. And I think that's too high, but
Yeah, writing, I went 3 out.
okay. So let's do the entertainment. I didn't hate this overall. I thought it was an okay watch. The timing was fucking awful. I don't know why a Conjuring movie needs to be, 2 hours and 20 minutes long? Something like that.
Way too long. I don't even know.
Way too long. I just kind of thought there was a lot going on here. I didn't really see the need for all these Warren family scenes. I really just kind of wanted to see, like, the sick part of me wanted to just watch these demons mess with the family, like most of the other Conjuring movies, and a lot of that was, broken into scenes of the Warrens meeting their new potential son-in-law as he makes this really awkward
As he
proposal
destroys
front of
Ed
them.
in ping pong while Ed has a heart attack.
Yeah, that was another piece. Like, Ed's supposed to be winding down his cardiac arrests because he's had, like, as many of the Conjuring movies as there have been. That's how many heart attacks Ed Warren has had.
Which is likely
And
if he's battling demons for his day-to-day job.
right, yeah, no health insurance either. I mean, he's really working.
No benefits in the demon hunting game.
Right. So I don't know if you thought that too. I just did not like how much shit was going on in the beginning of this movie. Just thought it was really jumbled together.
It felt like two very extreme and separate storylines happening in this movie, which is why the movie
Right.
felt like it was dragged on too long. It felt like they were trying to give us this emotional send-off with Ed and Lorraine, this being their final case, at least in the Conjuring series, versus the family getting haunted by a mirror demon and literally trying to murder them.
And the way they drag him in, it's not even necessary because they have this priest come to them and say, yo, this family is so fucking haunted. You got to come see them. And then he just gets deleted by the demon, and the Warrens never even address. Like, they go to his funeral, but the reason they're actually drawn there is because the daughter has some connection, some supernatural connection to the house anyway. So they just made that character the priest and killed him off for literally no reason. I don't think he needed to ever be on screen. Didn't do a bad job acting. It's not what that's about at all. Just think they could have cut a good maybe hour out of this movie.
That's actually a really good point, because yeah, they weren't drawn into the case by him. They were drawn in because their daughter literally forced them. She's like, I'm not leaving this family. Like, I will get hurt by this demon unless you two come and help me.
He got his esophagus destroyed by that rope, and they were like, that's really sad, but we're going to continue to stay retired.
I want to practice my ping pong.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Then we get into the climax of the movie and like the later stages of it. There are some, marquee jump scares, if you want to call them. Like, The Conjuring has these. They will do shit where they will fake jump scares and make you think something's happening, and then they'll just flip the camera really quickly. And I know I'm getting into the cinematography, but that stuff was good. I definitely jumped a couple times, but
I wasn't expecting
it is what
giant Annabelle. That was out of left field.
Yeah, I mean, they're very obsessed with this old women infatuation in horror movies right now. I mean, we saw it even in Weapons, but I'm not even going to affiliate Weapons with this. Like,
nothing creepier than an older woman.
No. And in Weapons, like, the writing and everything just blew that out of the water, and it's just not nearly as supernatural and far-fetched as this shit is. And overall, like, it had some funny scenes unintentionally, like the golden retriever getting force pushed into a wall. Giant Annabelle. Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Not on purpose, but I was laughing.
The mirror spinning at 3,000 miles per hour was also ridiculous. Yeah.
She basically turned into Anakin Skywalker, the daughter did, in the third episode of Star Wars, which you're not a Star Wars guy.
Nah,
I'm not
really
trying to put you on blast, but Hayden Christensen I think George Lucas told him to just, like, look like he wants to kill a child, and just, like, got that shot right there, and that's all that, what's her name? The daughter?
In this movie?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
the youngest Warren, the daughter of
Judy,
the Warrens. Judy, yeah. She was just looking straight evil for, like, the last 2 minutes of the movie, and it was fucking hilarious to me. Like, she's just, like, looking at the family and, like, being all creepy.
Oh my god, when they both put their hand on the mirror and push it back, I was like, get me out of this theater. Like, I don't want to be here anymore.
They're all screaming. Yeah, it just dragged on way too long. It's not the same as the original one. I like the second Conjuring a lot too. The first two that James Wan obviously did, but
yeah, the first one I love that one. But this is the same with any movie franchise. The longer you drag it out, the tougher it is to meet that standard.
Right. So nothing really more to add on entertainment for me. I do want to talk about the characters, because I talked about we just had a lot. I don't really know if we needed the whole new son-in-law getting introduced to the family. I didn't hate his character per se, but there was also a ton of characters in this family who was getting terrorized, and I don't think we had enough time to really take a dive into their backstory as much as I would have liked. And that whole portion of the movie was just more interesting to me. So
agreed. Like, that's why I tune into a Conjuring movie. I want to see people getting haunted, possessed, chased by giant Annabelles versus Ed playing his son-in-law in ping pong and clutching his heart because he stepped too far to the right or something.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of any of the other characters that we might have not touched on. I don't think we had the nun in this movie, which I was kind of.
They're just going to throw in all previous demons just to give them one last ride.
I thought we were going to get the nun at one point, but no nun. The Lorraines, or I keep calling them the Lorraines, but Lorraine and Ed, they're fine. I genuinely don't think they wanted to do this movie, because they kind of had the complex that Adam Sandler does in like the new Happy Gilmore, where I don't really think they're even in character half the time. They're just like, oh yeah, we're here, we're at this haunted house again. Like, oh, you got some really haunted shit going on here. All right, we're gonna look at this room and we're gonna cook for you now. This is all part of the job. It's like, all right, cool, man.
Also, I just want to, dude, Lorraine is like 95% of that team.
Yeah.
Ed is good for cooking and
Yeah.
being a manly figure in the house, I guess. I don't know. Being the dad of the family that's getting haunted. But Lorraine is the one crawling into the basements, fucking coming face to face with all these demons, doing the heavy lifting.
Right. She wears the pants in this family.
Yeah.
What do
And
I say?
I fucking hated how they tried to set it up with now, because Ed and Lorraine, this is their send-off, they're retiring. Now, of course, Judy, the daughter, is just like Lorraine, has the psychic visions. And Ed's over here trying to teach his son-in-law, Tony, this fucking dipshit, how to do whatever Ed does on these cases, which is pretty much nothing. It's like,
Right.
go get the car. And then Tony
Yeah,
hops
maybe-
in the car. Dude, the car, that scene was ridiculous. The car was
I know,
right, like a house or two down. And he does a donut and guns it like 80 miles per hour. What are you doing?
Yeah, Ed didn't teach them that part yet, but they'll figure that shit out.
You're right.
And I don't know. Yeah, another piece that you touched on, like Judy just accumulating Lorraine's Scarlet Witch powers over the course of like the first 30 minutes of this movie too, was just another intricacy that they threw in there. So we just got a lot, just too much shit going on. The cinematography, I mean, I adjusted this for the nerf that we always talk about with horror movies, because yeah, it does scare you at points. Like, they do a great job with the camera work. It's the entire movie is like pitch black and dark. So yeah, they're gonna freak me out at some points, but I didn't think they did anything revolutionary whatsoever. They just pump so much fucking noise into your ears when you're watching these things. Like, I'm going back to Weapons. There's a lot of scenes in that movie that are still or they have like a slight background noise, but it's not like just droning noise like trying to jump scare you. I just think that shit gets so overbearing and annoying, especially in a theater where it's extremely loud, and I just didn't really like it that much, but it did make me jump a few times.
You're a pussy.
Yeah, basically.
No, I'm literally the same way. Because, I mean, I think that's the thing with horror movies nowadays. The viewer is so prepared for when a jump scare is coming. We've seen a shit ton of these movies. They recycle the same type of jump scare moments to kind of get your heart rate going. So they resort to making you feel like something's about to pop out at you on the screen, and then they just hit you with an air horn in your eardrum, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's fun watching it in a theater because you'll get those characters in there that, like, people watching the movie that don't probably watch a ton, and they just audibly gasp at all those scenes. I get a kick out of that stuff.
I scream, dude, at the top of my lungs.
No one ever does that. They're most of the time they're just like, oh shit. It's like a lot of those. But nothing revolutionary with the cinematography. I will say though, the opening song of The Conjuring is legendary. That, like, ooh, whatever they play when they show the title of the movie is insane. And last thing I'm gonna say on Zach Kreger, in Barbarian, in the beginning of that movie, when she's walking into that Airbnb, he plays that exact same song, and I think that's him literally saying, like, I'm about to fuck up this whole movie industry right now. Like, it's pretty fucking bold, honestly. He didn't do that with Weapons, obviously, but I'm gonna stop talking about him. Let's just talk more about this. I do. Zach Kreger, come on the podcast. Dude, you're welcome anytime. Writing, I went 6-1. This was really, really generous here. I don't really know why I went 6-1. I guess the script was fine. There weren't like glaring plot holes with the family, I guess, but there's these constant things that we see in all these movies, like obvious red flags to just leave the premises. Just get the fuck out. Why are you buying me? If I'm a 16-year-old girl and my grandma or my aunt gives me this ugly ass mirror that's the size of my kitchen for my, like, what was it, for her birthday? Just be like, I don't want the fucking mirror, grandma. Like, it looks creepy. And as soon as you put it in our kitchen, our fucking ceiling exploded and I was like bleeding from the face. Like, something's wrong with this mirror. Let's maybe get rid of it. Nothing happens there. Nothing happens after like the 4 or 5 times they see ghosts or demons. The dad's like, no, I don't believe you. They have to have this dialogue where like one person doesn't believe, and it's just fodder.
And the daughters are just like, fuck you, Dad. Like, why the fuck don't you believe me?
Yeah, cut that whole scene. We don't need that. It's nonsense. Like, we see you getting terrorized by a demon. We know you're scared. We don't need you to see you yell at your dad. Like, we already know.
I scored the writing so low just because the 2 story tracks just kind of took me out of what I was expecting from a Conjuring movie.
Yeah.
The Smurl haunting was giving me the same vibes of like Conjuring 1, right? You're focused in on this family. They're being tortured by this demon. You feel sorry for them. Ed and Lorraine come to the rescue. But in this movie, that was just 45% of the movie. The other 55% of this was focused on this being the final Conjuring movie. It's Ed and Lorraine send off. Oh my God, Ed has so much like physical pain and heartache from the countless years of demon hunting, and Lorraine is clinically insane because she's seeing demons everywhere she goes, so they need to retire. But then it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, their daughter's getting dragged into this. Now the son-in-law's getting dragged into this. Now Ed and Lorraine are getting dragged back into this.
It's nonsense.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
I didn't even really watch a trailer that I can remember. I did see like an ad of the glass scene when she gets like choke slammed through the glass by herself. So I knew that was coming. Didn't know anything about the other storyline or any of the story to do with this movie, and I figured out in 5 minutes that the daughter was going to be the one that was possessed, and that was their greatest challenge. So just cut an hour of this movie, and I would have given it a much better score overall, honestly, because it had a lot of those old pieces. Like, that family was a cool aspect. It threw it back a little to the old Conjuring lore, but 45% is probably a good measurable of how good this actually was. I was literally like less than half the movie was actually okay, and then the rest was complete nonsense. So
yeah, at least it felt that way.
It was, dude. It wasn't a great movie. You and I watched Final Destination Bloodlines, which was kind of similar because that was supposed to be the last one of that original horror trilogy or franchise, and that was
way better. Yeah, way better
done. So
how factual do you think Ed and Lorraine's haunting cases are?
I don't really
like. What's your personal? Okay.
I just don't believe in ghosts and demons, really. You could at me. I've heard many stories of people like telling me they've seen ghosts and demons. Like, yeah, I mean, I believe
you're about to be haunted. All these ghosts.
I believe you think you saw that, but I also think that like the human mind can just play a lot of tricks on what you actually see and what you don't see. But there's a lot of mysteries in the world. Like, it wouldn't shock me if it's real. That's the other piece of the writing we forgot to mention. There, in this world, right, where there are clearly demons, why is Lorraine teaching her daughter this like memorable chant to make them go away when shouldn't she just be like praying to God? To me, if I was like in this world and there was a Satan or a demon and like we knew that for sure, I'm not trying to get super religious, but if we know for a fact that one of those exists, then like doesn't God exist? Definitely. Just that really doesn't make any sense to me. But
you're going all heretic on us right now.
Yeah, I'll let the non-believers dissect that one.
No, I definitely think that Ed and Lorraine, like, I think they're just
frauds.
kind of con artists. To be completely honest, I think they're going into households that probably do have strong beliefs with God, and they probably also believe in demons and Satan and whatnot. And that family is going through psychological trauma or something, probably deep rooted issues. And maybe they're hearing creaks of floorboards at night, and Ed and Lorraine are coming in there and just stirring it up.
Yeah, you want a ghost reading? That's gonna be $1,000 an hour.
And we're going to
Something
write a
like
book
that.
about it later.
Yeah, we're not. We're gonna use your name for confidentiality, and we're gonna make a lot of money off of it. So that was The Conjuring Last Rites. We give this a 5.9 out of 10 with our scale. You can go check that out on our website. It'll be linked in our YouTube bio, and we'll be back next Tuesday with another one. Until then, stay safe out there. Peace out.
Deuces.